Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Iron Elite Show with your boy Sarge. Yes, I'm back. I know there's a Sarge, where you been? Who kidnapped you? Man, I was on the highway and the byways, enjoying myself, man, crossing time zones, splitting state signs, man, and doing all kind of great things on After the Party, my 2023 Road Guide Limited, man. So if you guys could do me a favor, let everybody know we're on. Share it with a friend, man. Kane 4L. Let go.
I was asked the other day, hey Sarge, why you never play any fast music on your podcast? It's simple. I'm petty.
Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big Sarge, you in charge, real king of the South. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big Sarge, you in charge, real king of the South. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Slide on my road glide, looking so fly. 20-inch rollback, screaming eagle torque pack. I-10 to the end, it's a known patch. If you ain't a ground pounder, pay attention, fall back. We Iron Elite boys, no need for hitting switches. We split lanes and hogging lanes, we on a mission. On our way to CA, we 100 deep. Roll the web, down the road, run it up, rip it up. Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big Sword, you in charge, real king of the South. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big Sword, you in charge, real king of the South. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? I'm outside with it. I scrape the town burning loud when the smoke clear up. You know I hardly did it. I'm real naughty with it. My ride clean when it bling. I show the lean on the scene to get jiggy with it. No did it, get it? I'm well equipped it. My bike side got a side, so you know I'm hit. She dropped it down and split it. Backed it up to shift it. Let me kick a little game to you lames riding around here giving a set a bad name. It don't matter what you rank or what you claim. When we turn it up, you keep it motorcycling, man. My soul brothers, they roll runners, we rolling deep. When it's time to rally up, it's Black Wall Street. When you see them MCs at the RTE, roll the web, down the road, run it up, rip it up. Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big Sword, you in charge, real king of the South. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big Sword, you in charge, real king of the South. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig?
But Sarge, why you always gotta talk about motorcycling? Sarge, why you don't never talk about nothing else? Look here, man. If you gonna do all that crying, what the baby gonna do?
Hey, man, again, good morning and welcome to the Iron Elite Podcast Show. Your boy's on hooked on phonics this morning, man. He's trying to get all his words out or whatever. Got up this morning, tried to do a little bit of exercise. I'm trying to get back into the flow of things since I've been back home for some, I want to say about 4 or 5 days now. Still trying to get it together, man. I've crossed quite a few time zones back and forth. I was up in the mountains, in the desert, in the woods, in the heat, in the humidity, the dry heat. It was just everything, man. It was everything. But I'm back home, man. I'm happy. Thank you guys for all your prayers, all your support while I was on the road, man. It was fabulous, man. But let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it, man. Shout out to everybody who's just jumped on with us this morning. Shout out to you. Cheers. Cheers. I'm so jealous of what you're doing out there on the Chisholm Ranch, man. Getting it together, bro. It looks beautiful. Shout out to the operations officer, DJ D Ready. She's on with us this morning, man. She's got things to do because she's got to get ready to go out of town and do some stuff herself. Shout out to my niece, my niecey poo, Kayla. Good to have seen you. We got some things to talk about, Kayla. D-Bell, y'all know I get in with the Bells, man. I rock with the Bells, man. I will fight you about the Bells. Appreciate David being on with us this morning. I'm sure Sonny is going to be on probably from time to time and doing what she's got to do and still having to work. So appreciate everybody that's coming on with us, man. If you guys would be so kind, reach up, man. Hit the like button, man, so we can get the algorithms going. G, appreciate you being on with us this morning. My guy Breezy does it. You know how it is. Breezy, I can't wait for your ride coming up. Man, the 10 said, come on in, man, and get your butt whipping, man. So we're ready for you. When you get ready to kick your ride off, I believe next month for you. Breezy. So we can't wait, man. We're ready to rock and roll, man. But for everybody, man, I'm back. I'm excited. It was the Sarge's retirement ride, man. So today I'm going to come on and talk about some things I know we don't talk about a lot. And that's me. That's me, man. We're going to take a little victory lap. We're going to thank the Lord for his helping hands, his loving hands on us doing this ride, keeping us safe, keeping me safe, keeping the motorcycle upright, keeping the rubber side down, and making this the ride of a lifetime. Yes, my guy, it was the ride of a lifetime. I know, Sarge, people make rides all the time. I get it. But this was mine, man. This was my signature ride. It wasn't a rally ride. It wasn't a competition ride. It wasn't a social experiment ride. It was a retirement ride. It was a ride for me to reflect and to thank God for bringing me to this point that I'm at today. It was a chance for me to sit back and take it all in. What does it mean, man? This is the second time for your boy Sarge. I've been working, man, since I was 15 years old. 15 years old. Now I've been blessed to see some 60 and a half. This is the first time I've been able to roll out of the bed and not be responsible to go to anybody's anything. And I wanted to celebrate this occasion with taking off and seeing this beautiful country of ours. And don't let nobody fool you. This is a beautiful country. This is the most beautiful country on the planet, in my humble opinion. And I wanted to be able to see it and experience it behind the handlebars of a motorcycle, not in a rush, again, not on the obligation, but to just take my time and take it in. And I did, man. Again, it was 8,832 miles, I think, as the crow flies, man. That's what the odometer told me anyway. It started off as, and I'm gonna say this, I started it off up into, it almost ashamed to say, I did not know what I was gonna really do until I got on the ride. Up until it was going together, I did the things that you were supposed to do. I put the maintenance together. I did the maintenance. I put equipment, check. I made sure I took care of my responsibilities before I left the house with the family, check. I made sure I was relatively healthy and got my physical and had my blood work and all that other stuff. So I done all the things that you normally do when you get ready to do these really long motorcycle rides. Check, check, check. Had all that stuff under together. But the thing I didn't have, now I know y'all gonna laugh, y'all gonna trip on this. The thing I did not have together is I really didn't know what direction and how I was gonna go. I know you say like, I know, where is it at? I know you saying, I know you're thinking this, Sarge.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Damn, Sarge, you didn't know what the heck. God is my witness. I did not know where I was going to go. I knew that I did want to hit some states that I hadn't hit before on my motorcycle, that I didn't have the opportunity to go to last year that I wanted to go. And I wanted to focus more on the Pacific Northwest. And for anybody who knows Sarge, y'all know I am a cowboy movie fan. I love Westerns. The wife will tell you anything that has to do with Westerns, he gonna sit down, he gonna watch it. He don't care if it's a series, he don't care if it's seasons, I'm gonna watch it. 1883, I'm in. 1923, I'm in. Lewis and Clark Expedition, I'm in. I'm into those type of movies. Back when men were manly men. So I wanted to focus on the Pacific Northwest, some of the upper tier states, but I didn't know how I was going to put it all together. So I started off, I got some calls from the Soul Brothers. Hey, Sarge, the national event is going to come up in Arkansas. So I said, D-Bell say some of the best rides are to go and just see where you end up. You ain't lying, D-Bell. I will recommend that to everybody. Go see what you can see, man. Go do what the heck you do. And then let it all fall out at the end. And I guarantee you, it'll be the best ride of your life. Shout out to Icy. Appreciate you being on with us this morning. She just finished up the I-10 to the end. So congratulations to you, ma'am, of doing your thing. Black Ice, appreciate you. But again, so I took off. I said, okay, I'm going to go to Little Rock, Arkansas first, and then we'll figure it out and put it all together. So I went up to Little Rock, Arkansas, on my way heading to the Soul Brothers National, as well as the Bikers Roundup that was going on that weekend in Little Rock, Arkansas. Well, just like everything else in this time of year, anybody who lives east of Houston, that's anywhere within the vicinity of a few hours from the Gulf of Mexico, we know this is rainy season. Well, Sarge, you always say Florida is the sunshine state. Yeah, it is, but it has Everglades for a reason. It has swamps for a reason, because it rains down here, homie, every day. The sun comes out, but it's gonna rain. So we take off. I leave the 1st of August, taking off because I had riders also. I had Brian and his son. I had the father-son, I-10 to the end. They were taking off. I had, shout out to Big Frizz from Red Reed, North Carolina. So he was on the road coming from the West Coast. I had Blue from Red Reed, Greenville, South Carolina. So I had multiple riders on the road, as well as me getting on the road. But anyway, so I get on the road. I head to Arkansas, get on the 10, leave that morning, early that morning, because I think I'm going to get there early enough to still be able to do what I had to do, because unfortunately for me and my family, life was lifing. Found out that my mother has a health issue that we're dealing with. So keep my mom in your prayers. So we're dealing with her and making sure my mom is okay. And shout out to the operations officer. She covered a lot of things for me to allow me to be able to take off, and knew that my family was going to be in good hands. She was going to be able to help in the way that she was able to help for me to be able to still make this ride. I knew also my uncle was in dire straits. It was some things going on. So life was lifing for us at the time, but they were like, hey, Sarge, we want you to go ahead and go now. There's never a convenient time to do these things. So go now and get on back and leave the worrying to us, and you focus on the highway and doing what you got to do. So shout out to my family, shout out to my loved ones who took care of things while I took off. But I took off, thought I would get there in plenty of good time, but the weather did what the weather did. It rained on your boy the whole trip going to Little Rock. It didn't stop raining on me until I got to, I want to say, Mississippi. So shout out to Alabama. Anybody talking about a drought in Alabama, I don't know what you're talking about right now, because it rained and it rained and it rained and it rained. I get to Little Rock, and unfortunately, because of rain and construction and things that were going on the 40, it took a long time. It took a very long time. I was delayed actually about 4 hours. So the best laid plans, just like they talk about, go to heck sometimes. It just goes to heck. But being a motorcycle rider, we have to understand that the road and weather conditions have a lot to say about your ride. You can plan and say, I got, 12 hours to make this ride, or I got 1 day to make this ride. I got 2 days to make it. You can say whatever you want to say, but construction, traffic, weather, mechanical issues, they have a lot to say about your ride. So I would always suggest when you're making rides like this, settle in. Don't get too eager to get to nowhere too fast. Sometimes it's meant for you to get there when it's time for you to get there. Getting there safe is the most important thing about getting there, is getting there safe. So that being said, I got there really late Saturday night. Kind of missed most of the stuff, but I got a chance to see some of the sights and sounds of what other things that were going on in Arkansas. Got a chance to hang out with Big Psych, Soul Brothers, Arizona. Y'all know I get on with Big Psych. Love him to death, man. Shout out to him and Doc J. They were gracious enough and loving enough to say, Sarge, don't even worry about it. Come over to the Airbnb. So I I was able to bed down at their Airbnb spot. It was a beautiful cabin out in the middle of the hills of Arkansas. I don't know what the heck you call them. I know it was the Ozark, but it was a fabulous lake on the outskirts of Little Rock, Arkansas. Couldn't see nothing at night. Went up a hill and made a turn at the creek and made a turn at the tree and whatever the case may be. But we got up there at night. It looked like I was. I thought Doc J and Big Syke kind of set me up to. It was like one of those movie episodes of Halloween. You had Camp Crystal Lake. You out there in the middle of nowhere. You don't know where the heck you're going. You just know you couldn't go too far to the right or too far to the left, or your behind might be down the hill somewhere. But they got me in. Got a chance to chop it up with Syke. Syke, I hope you're doing great now, my guy. Syke was going through some issues, but he's a warrior. So we're going to keep Syke in our prayers. Going to pray for him, Doc J. But it was great just putting eyes on him and dapping it up and just being able to talk with my guys. So shout out to him and Doc J for putting me up that night. Got up the next morning, took off. Y'all know how I had, about my boys. So I had to pop in and see my guy in Houston, Texas, man. Y'all know how I get down with Brother Low Key. So popped in on him, man. So this is me and Brother Low Key. I went to Houston. That was my next destination. Went to Houston, Texas. Hung out with, you ain't lying, D-Bell. Got to get some lights. Matter of fact, D-Bell, me and you've already talked about it. I ain't leaving too many other places without getting me a set of lights. That's the next real investment on the bike, because as we get into the good, the bad, the ugly, and the funny of this trip, we're going to see where lights really came into play. And your boy was chicken to be fooling around out there on the 90, but we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. But I got a chance to pull up on Brother Low Key. You see him here in the world famous maintenance garage of Low Key in Houston, Texas. I think that was the next morning, man. So got a chance to break bread with Low Key. Him and his family, man, had an awesome dinner with those guys, man. Went back to my normal bedroom at his house, got a chance. They had it all pristine and set out for him. So thank you, Low Key, for the love that you and your family gave to me while I was on the road. So we chopped it up, talked about the normal things that we talked about. We talked about IT&TN rides because, of course, Low Key is the IT&TN ambassador. So we talked about our riders. We talked about, of course, the Iron Elite family and the event and awesome ways and ideals that we can come up with to make this next event coming up, by the way, shameless plug, February 6th and 7th of 2027 here in Jacksonville, Florida, Adamak Harley Davidson, Bay Meadows Boulevard, the best Iron Elite event of them all. So we talked about that, chopped it up a little while, had a great time with him. Left the next morning on my way to San Antonio. And at this point, I'm like, okay, Sarge, what are you doing here? Are you going to go to Santa Monica Pier? What are you going to do? So I get a text from my oldest daughter. Shout out to Tiffany. I get a text from Tiffany checking in. Hey, Dad, love you, checking in. And I said, here it is. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. The next destination is San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to go pop up on my kiddo at work. Don't want much from her. I just want to put eyes on her and see how she's doing. So beeline from Houston, Texas to San Antonio, pulled up on her at work. She's working down in San Antonio, Texas at the Air Force Base doing her thing. I want to say Tiff has been down there with the federal government for probably close to 20 years. So she's well established doing her thing. So I was able to pull up on her and just have coffee and talk about her life and talk about cool things. And it was a blast, man, just talking to her and listening to her perspective. And it's funny now, especially for us who are blessed enough to have children, and even more, bigger than that, adult children. and to listen to their perspective on life and things and family and work. It's funny to listen to how they complain about the things that you complained about. You know, I felt like I was listening to myself 30, 40 years earlier by listening to Tiffany. But it was a great time, great laughs, beautiful time. And we had a great time. And again, you know, when you're out here on the highway, a lot of things pop up on you. So I had Frizz, of course, that was doing his 10 to the end, and he popped up on me. So now I got Big Frizz. We're sitting here at the, y'all forgive me, anybody who knows the Air Force Base in San Antonio, put it in the chat if you don't mind. So Frizz pops up on me, and that's us. It's about, I think outside it's about, I don't know, about 115 in the shade. And he's heading back to the East Coast, and Frizz is doing his Gold Star 3rd award, I-10 to the end. So let's do this for Frizz, man. Let's go ahead and let's give Frizz this. So he's smiling. Frizz had just finished. Big Frizz out of Rare Breed, Fayetteville chapter. So Frizz is just finishing up. I think he's got one more corner to do. He's heading to Key West to finish his 4 corners for his club and for the Empire. So anybody know Frizz? If you're going to meet him, you're going to meet him at the gas station on the highway, homie, because you ain't going to meet him sitting around. He ain't going to be sitting around at all. So got a chance to chop it up with Frizz for a little while, and now Frizz is heading east, and now I'm on my way heading west. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so Sarge, what's next? Where you getting ready to go? I'm enjoying myself. At this point, I'm averaging really no miles, very few miles. I'm doing, you know, going up to Arkansas. I think I did about 900 miles that day. It was the first day coming out the gate, coming back from Little Rock to Houston. I think it was under 400 miles, maybe 400 miles at the most, but I think it was under 400 miles. So now I'm going from Houston to San Antonio, and I'm doing like very little miles. That's a coffee break for most ground pounders. So now I'm thinking, okay, so Sarge, what's the next plan? What's the next plan of attack? What would you like to do? At that point, Joe Fan reached out to me. Shout out to Joe. Matter of fact, Joe is on his way. Him and Highway Dre, Highway Smiley, they're all heading out to the SMA to, I think to do the, I don't know if that award is called the Triple Crown event that they're doing, or help me out, D-Bell, if you know what the name of that thing is that they're doing out there. I can't remember what the name of it is. The Three Flags Classic, I think it is. So I said, you know what? Joe talking, and we're on the phone, and we're talking a bunch of trash. I said, I think I'm going to go to Phoenix first because I want to stop in and see the Arizona Soul Brothers, but I don't have to do that no more because, you know, I went to Arkansas. I'm going to go down to the southernmost city on the border of Mexico and California of America. I'm going down to San Ysidro. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, there we go. Vernon Powell said, Three Flags Classic. Yes, appreciate that, my guy. So I said, go down to San Ysidro. I ain't been down to Diego in a while, so I'm going to cut down and I'm going to hit, what up, Sal? What up, Big Sal? FHO Atlanta, man. Appreciate him being in the house, man. Good show you had this morning. Pretty funny. I ain't going to lie to you. Homie, you ain't going to never solve that problem. I'm just going to say that. But so I cut down, hit the 10, then hit the 8, go down to Yuma Proving Grounds, and took a area that I haven't taken before. I haven't taken the 8 on my motorcycle ever. So I said, well, why not go down that way? One thing I learned about the 8 as you're traveling down that way, and they did warn me, Grand Slam on the road in Arizona. Now do the Three Flags next week. That's right, my guy. Grand Slam. They're on the road. That's right. So I was warned about the 8, and I was told that the wind down there is very disrespectful, Sarge. The dust storms are extremely disrespectful, and you're in the middle of nowhere. So time your gas station stops. Understand what the weather is down there. For anybody that's from I think the 8 splits off. D-Bell Cell remind me, because I took the 10 into Phoenix, went west of Phoenix to Buckeye, and then eventually I can't remember the 2 highways I took when I went straight down to Yuma, and I met the 8 at Yuma. But I do know that you can take the 8, I think it's right before or right after Tucson, Arizona, and you can take the 8 straight into Diego, and then of course go down to San Ysidro. What's good, Kane 4L? What's happening with you, my brother? So I take that route. I go past Yuma, past Proving Grounds. Weather was extremely hot down there, man. I'm talking. I looked up a couple times on the bike. We were looking 117, 118 at mid-morning. Very, very rural area down there. Very rural area. Very pretty, but very rural down there. I would suggest anybody taking the 8, don't monkey around with the gas stops. Do not monkey around, especially if you're not familiar with that area. I took a couple of the state roads that went straight down. That was, again, I was west of Buckeye. I can't remember the actual road without my atlas right now, but it took me straight to Yuma. Don't monkey around on those roads, man. Those roads are single roads. They run north and south, as well as they run north and south, and they're not the greatest roads in the world. And it's nothing out there except desert. Nothing. There's a lot of critters that are running around back there. So I would suggest that you're going to take it. If you're going to take it at night, know where you're going, know what you're doing, and have some real good lights. And understand that there's a lot of wildlife back there. And understand if there's something that happens to you back there before you make it to the 8, there's not a whole lot of help. You're going to be out there for a long time. So that's my advice for you. D-Bell say do the 8 early or late. I would say do the 8 early in the morning. I would say definitely do it early in the morning because it's really hot. The 8 itself is not a bad highway. There's just a lot of nothing back there. So anyway, with that being said, met the 8, took the 8, got to Diego. I can't remember. I took maybe a state road that went around the 5 and ended up going down to San Ysidro to a small post office down there. Just to kind of monkey around with Joe Fan and kind of just to have some laughs and giggles. So I went down to San Ysidro, and for those who are not familiar with San Ysidro sits right down there on the Tijuana border. Be careful when you're monkeying around down there, because if you get off on the wrong exit, it's going to take you straight into Mexico. And when you're heading up to that border, you can't turn around. You're screwed. You're going into Mexico. So don't play around if you're not really sure. Get your buddy in there and get the heck out of there. I wish I had a picture. I thought I had a picture of what it looks like down there. I sure do. Here we go. Let me see if I can pop that picture up. Here we go. The most southwest post office. No, that's Blaine. Good grief, Sarge. I'll try to pull up that post office down to San Ysidro. Let me see if I can get it, because I'm in the spirit now. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I didn't have it on the post. Yeah, I get an L for that. I didn't have it on the post, but I'll bring up that picture during the show before the show is over. But got down to San Ysidro, really busy little small town. Looked like it had quite a few great looking authentic restaurants and stuff down there. Really, really busy, but really, really small town. Looked like a very festive place to hang out at if you were doing some tourist type stuff. So shout out to San Ysidro. I didn't stay long, but I looked around, got a chance to kind of take in the sights and sounds. So at this point now, I'm like, okay, so now, Sarge, where we're going? We've been to the most southwest corner of the United States. one of the corners. You've been to Key West, another corner. Well, shoot, why not? Why not go to the most northwest corner, Blaine, Washington? And oh, by the way, while you're doing it, why don't you take 5 and go 5 end to end? That'd be very cool. That's what your thing is, I-10 to the end. So go do 5 end to end. So I take out and head out at that point. Decided I was going to take the 5 straight up. Shout out to California, man. I'm going to just say this. Even with splitting lanes, sometimes, man, and there's going to be some of the ugly section of the ride. Beautiful scenery coming up the 5. Beautiful coastline, the Pacific to my left. Of course, the inland portion of California to my right. Beautiful scenery, man. You can see segments of the Pacific as you're going up the 5, which are just breathtaking, which is gorgeous. As I'm coming up, I'm seeing Oceanside. I'm seeing Camp Pendleton. I'm seeing just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful coastline. But that 5, man, that Interstate 5, I don't know what the Sam Hill y'all got going on. Even with splitting lanes, it was a beast. It was a workout. It's not for the faint at heart on a motorcycle. I'm going to just tell you that. And I was off on a 5, really getting into it around right before lunchtime. There is not a good time to ride the 5 unless you ride the 5 at, I don't know, 3 in the morning. There is not a good time. One construction closing of a lane, one accident can set you back hours. And it took me a while. I want to say it took me a few hours to get from Diego. It took several hours, and I didn't even make it to LA. And I want to say LA from Diego, and somebody let me know whether it's, Kane Foel or D-Bell or somebody that's on that's familiar, or FHO who's familiar with Southern California. I want to say Diego is about 100, not Diego. I want to say, not Diego. I want to say Oceanside or Camp Pendleton, Oceanside is about 100 miles from LA. I want to say that. But it took me 3 hours to get there because of all the stuff that was going on the 5. I did get a chance to see a situation where, and I heard about this as well from, who was it? Was it Crowbar? I think Crowbar. D-Bell says still busy at 3 a.m. I believe you, D-Bell. I don't think there's ever a good time to go through it. Now, I know there's a worse and there's a more worser or worse time to go through, but I think is bad and it's badder and it's super bad with going through there. But splitting lanes, I'm going to see this more and more and more, and I'm starting to see little things that popping up. And this is something I didn't know, but I learned. When you're splitting lanes and they only give you a certain amount of space to get between there, and your skills are not skilling at the time, and you hit a car or you bump into a car, you're going to get the fault on that. You're going to get the fault on that. I'm just telling you that now. Be careful when it comes to splitting lanes. If they're not giving you enough room, you're going to have to wait, or you're going to have to go around a different way. Do not monkey around with that. You will get hurt. Some cars know the mission, they know the assignment, and they're going to give you ways. And they're going to say, sometimes they flag you. Come on. Some cars ain't going to give you an ounce. Right now, it's 1 hour and 50 from Pendleton. Right. 1 hour and 50 from Pendleton to LA. Shout out to my niecey poo. Niece, ain't going to be no hour. It's going to be a lot more than that. But I'm just going to say this, just be very, very cautious when it comes to splitting lanes. If that ain't where you're from and that's not what you're used to doing, you're going to have to take an extra split second or so to make sure, A, that car notices you, and B, you got enough space, especially for us, some of us motorcycle riders who we got oversized bars, 20s, 18s, 22-inch pullbacks and those type of things. Be very careful. Take those highway pegs that you treasure using all the time and bring those pegs in, especially if you got a full dresser. Don't monkey around. Get their attention. Loud pipes save lives. Hit that throttle. Let them know that you're there. Hit the horn if you don't have a stage one or you don't have aftermarket pipes on your bike. Because if you hit a car, you're going to get the blame for it. Not to mention that there's a great chance that you could get hurt. Most know the mission out there. Some act like they don't give a damn about the mission when it comes to splitting lanes. Also, do your best to maneuver that traffic to keep that bike moving, because if your bike overheats out there and you're disabled out there, you're going to have a long day on that stretch of highway. It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very hard for vehicles to get to you, especially when you're not a medical emergency. When you're roadside, quote unquote, emergency, it's going to be a long day for you out there. So I'm just saying this, understand, you have to move into a situation where you can get that bike off that highway as quickly as possible or keep that bike moving. My clutch hand, by the time I was done, by the time I made it to LA, I felt like I had carpal tunnel. I really did. But anyway, I pushed on, got past LA, got through LA, got into the mountains, which was a nice ride. But then again, they were doing construction around Bakersfield. So it had traffic delayed, I want to say several miles before Bakersfield. So your boy decided to tap out, decided to go ahead and get a hotel room because I'd been through it for a long time that day in the heat. Just been a long day. So I tapped out just south of Bakersfield, visited a little small town. I forget what the town was called. I want to say I don't want to call it Maryville. I can't really, I'm not sure what the name of the town was. Shout out to K Solo for coming on and rocking with us this morning, man. He's been doing all kind of cool stuff with the Hoka Hey. I think he just finished up with a big series on Hoka Hey riders. So shout out to him and his coverage on the Hoka Hey. He was doing his thing over there. And also shout out to all our riders, man, who participated in the Hoka Hey. For the ones who didn't even get a chance to finish it because of whatever, I appreciate you guys for even having enough heart to take on that incredible challenge, man. Some 11,000 miles sleeping on the ground, doing their thing, man. A really, really tough challenge. So shout out to Pop Off 2 years in a row, just finished the challenge. Shout out to Julius. So more to come on those guys, man, the Hoka Hey finishers, and everybody who signed up and put it on the line to attempt the Hoka Hey ride. But anyway, so I shut it down, short of Bakersfield, small little town there, man, had a very great meal at an authentic Mexican restaurant. And for those who hadn't had a chance to really do a real authentic Mexican restaurant, man, you owe it to yourself. Great meal, relaxed, had a great room, just a nice mellow time. And just now at this point was able to relax and again start to reflect again. Here now, Sarge, you're on the West Coast. You know, you're on your way to Northern California. What's the next move? What you gonna do, Sarge? Then I thought about it. I said, I got my niecey poo. I got Kayla, who lives in Portland, Oregon. Beeline, I'm going to Portland, Oregon to see my niece. Shout out to her. She's a nurse. She's taking care of people. She's doing great things in our community. And I'm getting ready to go see her because I hadn't had a chance to really had time for us to have some one-on-one time, man, since her days in college and doing her thing. And she's been all over the world doing her thing, man. So I'm going to pull up on her. D-Bell said, Hoka Hey again in 28, 26 just wasn't for me. You're right. 28, we're going to claim it right now, D-Bell. That's going to be your time to shine. So now I'm going to see my niecey poo because I follow her on social media. I see her doing her thing. She's traveling and she's showing us all kind of great food and great places she go to. And I ain't gonna lie, borderline, I'm a little jealous because I see all her great pictures and she's seen all these beautiful places in the world and these scenic tours. I said, I'm going up to see her. But before I do, I think I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna drop in and, I got to claim my fame now. And I always try to visit certain Soul Brothers chapters each year, because my thing is I always want to be the farthest traveled. So I shoot in, shout out to the Soul Brothers on the West Coast. Y'all know how to get on with the California Soul Brothers. So decided I was going to go ahead and hit Merced chapter, so had a chance to hit Merced, break bread with Merced, and some great talks from the clubhouse. So I pop in, I see my Merced Soul Brothers. So, shout out to them for in the middle of the morning, open up the clubhouse for me and coming in and let me just hang out and feel the mystique, man, of all that history there. So stopped in to see them, pulled up on the mother chapter, Stockton, California. Had a chance to spend a couple of days with the National Prayers. We had a great time, great breakfast, talking about life. Matter of fact, shout out to the National Prayers. We sat down, broke bread, man. We talked about everything but MCing. We talked about life. We talked about health. We talked about family. We talked about grown man stuff, man. It was a pleasure, man. Shout out to him, man. It was a great time. He was a gracious host to me while I was out there. Got a chance to go into Richmond and hang out with the Richmond Soul Brothers to their event. Got a chance to meet up with a bunch of the guys from the California West Coast set. And for those who were thinking of go to California and hadn't been to California yet, get out to the California bike set, especially for us who are from the South. Get out and see how California get down. You will be shocked. You will be shocked. I look forward to going out there every year. It's a different get down out there. I love it. Every set has its issues, whether it's the good, the bad, the ugly, the drama, whatever. Every set, because we're people. But out there, my vibe is so different out there. I love it out there. I love the spirit of the bike set out there. So when I'm out there, it's always smiles and shines for me. But got a chance to hang out with them. Shout out to Emo, man. Emo pulls up on me from Red Reed, the Bay Area, man. And just something real quick about Emo. I met Emo several years ago. Emo pulled up on me when I was in Stockton, California. He pulls up on me on a Sunday morning. Didn't know him from a can of paint. And at the time, I think Emo was an independent rider at the time. And he introduced himself to me. I was in the parking lot of the hotel and said, "Hey, Sarge, I'm Emo, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna ride a little bit with you, man." So I'm like, okay, well, cool. Emo rode with me and again, I didn't know him at all. He rode with me from Stockton, California, into Nevada. I think he rode with me, I want to say almost 300 miles before he turned around and had to go back to work that night. And man, from that point, it was on, man. Me and him was close since that time. He pulls up on me as well, man, and we break bread. We have a great time, me, him, and the National Prayers, man. Just talking about life and stuff and things, man. It was a great time, man. Great time, man. So shout out to Emo. I want to say, I think that I have again, forgive me, y'all. I could only load so many pictures at a time. But I thought I had a picture, and I'll look for him as well. But he pulls up on me, and again, we hung out, had a chance to hang out, have lunch, some good laughs, and he saw my boy. He saw me off. So shout out to Emo, shout out to National Prayers, shout out to Richmond Chapter Soul Brothers, shout out to Merced Soul Brothers. Thank you guys for making me feel at home while I was down in Northern California. So thank you guys. So now I get on my way. I sit down and plot my next course. And so now I talk to my niece Kayla, and she says, "Okay, I got you covered." I shoot her my glimpse, and I said, "Niecey Poo, I'm away heading there. I'm gonna take some of your advice. I'm gonna go through the redwood forest." Because for those that don't know Sarge, man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a closet nerd, man. I kind of do like nature. I like seeing things. I like that kind of stuff. And as a kid, you would sing, what was the song? "This Land Was Made for You and Me." which was debatable when I was coming up. But I like to think now, since I've served this country, this land damn sure was made for me, you and me. And I say that and I stand on it. So I said the Redwood Forest, because I've seen people go through the Redwood Forest and, do tours. And I said, well, I'm going to do a flyby. But at the same time, I want to run and see, take the 101. Normally when I'm NCing, I never had the opportunity to take the 101 because I'm in a hurry. It's always about the destination is never about the journey. So now I'm taking my time. Really not a lot of people know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I purposely did it that way because I didn't want nobody to, not intentionally, but jade the ride from me or sabotage the ride from me. So I didn't tell people purposely about what I was doing and where I was going. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take the 101 and I'm going to take it up to the Redwood Forest. Greatest decision I could have made. Going through the Redwood Forest, for those who've been through it and have done it, I know you understand what I'm getting ready to say. It was breathtaking, gorgeous. It was worth every mile of it. Now I'm going to say this for my fainted heart. If you're not used to steep cliffs coming into there, if you're not used to looking over the side and you see nothing but forest to the right or the left and really narrow highways and high elevation, definitely go in the daytime and take your time. Most of the speed limit back there was, I think the fastest the speed limit got when I really got into the higher elevation was about 30 miles, 35 miles an hour. Be really, really careful back there. Really careful. Be very familiar with your motorcycle. Work on your skills, man. Work on your skills because it could be very, very beautiful and breathtaking. It can be very, very intimidating as well. So I make it, this picture here in the background is one of the trees in the Redwood Forest. This is on the outskirts of it. And this picture doesn't do this tree any justice. These trees are huge. They're tremendously tall. I don't know what the highest tree is, in the forest, but these trees are amazing. From what I understand, these trees are, thousands of years old, some of them. They're just huge. They're just breathtaking. There's many parks and different roads back there that you can take and you can go on that, again, you can just sightsee. The speed is very slow, so you can take your time as you're going into these sites and seeing these trees, but it's worth it, man. I had a blast back there. Again, plenty great sights to see. So if you get a chance, go check out the Redwood Forest. They've got quite a few little visitor stations there to give you a lot of rundown. If you want to see, to take the tours, just like Kayla said, absolutely humbling seeing those in person. Kayla, I was taken back. It was worth every minute of the ride into it. Now, it's a slow ride getting there. I'm going to tell you that. Don't be in a hurry because it's going to take you a long time, especially if you come in there off the 5. We're talking, it took me a couple hours at least to get out there. I think it's more than that because the speed limit is so slow and there's not a lot of passing lanes and things like that to do it. I got a chance to go out to the Pacific coast and again to see the ocean. The weather is a little different in Northern California, Pacific. It was rainy, wet, cold out there. But then as you get inland, it was a lot warmer and the weather was a lot more comfortable. So great ride. I suggest it to anybody who wants to get out and see some things on your bike. So we take it on up. Now I'm in Oregon. I crossed the Oregon state line. So now I'm starting to feel a little good about myself. I'm starting to think I'm doing some things because now I know the next trip I'm going to take is to get up to Portland. But at first I want to go ahead and I want to catch a state sign. You know, everybody knows Sarge. I'm not a big state sign guy, but I thought for this trip, I thought it would make for very good content with what I was doing and keeping people in the know of where I was going and how I was traveling. You know, it was kind of like, what's new, Mr. Magoo? So I get into Oregon, beautiful, beautiful Oregon forest. And I'm gonna say this about Oregon. Here y'all go. Here we go. This is kind of like the funny section. This is a little bit of the funny section. Oregon, I was jaded about Oregon, man. Because anytime I see Oregon, I just see what I see on the news with Oregon. I see things going on with Oregon. It was Oregon. I'm from the South. But I get in across the state line. Oregon is picturesque. What's going on, Co Kitty? I want to camp in the redwoods. I don't blame you, bro. It's gorgeous. So I get into Oregon. I cross the state line. It is a beautiful state. Awesome state. Gorgeous state. It was beautiful. I got no issues with the state. Beautiful, beautiful state. Beautiful forest, beautiful mountains, picturesque. Great. I get into Eugene, Oregon, college town. I think Eugene, Oregon is where the University of Oregon was. It was a college town. It was college townish. If for those who've ever visited and hung out in college towns, you know how it is. It's kind of, it has a young, vibrant spirit about itself, but it wasn't a bad town, bad city at all. So got a chance to spend a night in Oregon. Eugene decided I was going to pull up because I'd had a long day coming up from Stockton and going into the Redwood Forest and coming out and sightseeing. There was a lot of riding, a lot of traversing mountains. So, the purpose was not to be beat up on the ride. The purpose was to be able to take and enjoy the ride in. Now, I'm going to say this, on the way going to Portland, some of the traffic got a little ugly, but I guess it just kind of goes along with the territory. It got a little ugly, some of the traffic, but wasn't too bad. I dealt with what I had to deal with getting into Portland. And for those who hear about my Oregon folks, there's 3 types of vehicles in Oregon in this order. Subaru is the first car. It's a car of choice for more Oregonians, if that's what they call them. The Subaru. The next car is the scooter. And then the last car, the top 3, is the bicycle. That's what they rocking in Oregon, man. They are clean energy in Oregon. That's how they getting down, man. That's how they doing their thing. So shout out to Oregon, man. If it was up to them, we're going to be off gasoline before you know it. So they were about the clean energy type stuff and conserving what they had to conserve. So, again, so it was kind of funny. And as I was riding on the road, I was like, is this like the 1000th Subaru I've seen on the road? Or damn, there's a lot of scooters on the road, but it was good. Oregon was a nice time as far as the state, as far as the nature. The people seemed extremely nice there. They didn't seem rude or crazy or anything. It was nice. They treated your boy with respect, and people pulled up on me at the gas station and asked, and they saw the Florida tags. Hey, what you doing? And everybody was very intrigued about what I was doing and where I was going, and my story and that type of stuff. So it was very cool. It wasn't any bias. It wasn't any prejudice type behavior. So shout out to them. Now I'm gonna tell you about the funny. Your boy. Now the people there was a little different. They was a little different. I'm from the South. Again, I was born in the 60s, man. We're different. Now, there was a lot of purple and blue and green and red hair of it. But the people were really kind people. There were a lot of bell-bottom blue jeans and flip-flops. There was. I'm going to just tell you. It was a little different. There was a lot of face paint, but it was a little different. But they were really charming folk. So no badness to Oregon and to Portland and to Eugene. Oregon does have its sundown towns too. I'm glad you had to go. Well, I wasn't going none of those, Nisi Poo. We were going to keep it on the main. We were going to keep it on the 5. We weren't going to do no sundowns. But the people that I did see, and again, heading down, heading through the major cities, whether it was Eugene and Portland, they treated me well. So no. So let's give Oregon this. We're gonna give Oregon. We're gonna give them a horn, man. So they did this thing. So I meet up with Nisi Poo, and we sit down, we go to this nice little, beautiful, quaint little coffee shop, very intimate, and we were able to talk about life. Sarge, you gonna tell us what? No, I ain't telling you what we talked about. We talked about life. We talked about her. We talked about things she had going on. We talked about travel. We laughed. We joked. We smiled. We took our pictures. We made memories. So shout out to Kayla. Thank you for making time to hang out with Uncle, because I know you have a busy schedule, being a medical professional and having to do what you're doing and working long shifts, and to making sure again that we stay as safe and healthy as we possibly can. Thank you for people like you for caring about taking care of people all over the place. So thank you. Much love to her. But it was just fabulous. Now I'm looking at this 30-year-old beautiful young lady that I knew since she was knee-high to a duck. When she used to drive me crazy at 2 years old, waking me up in the morning and hanging out with us and doing things. And we're going to the pool together now. I see this beautiful young soul who's a professional, who's doing a thing, who's living her life. She's a full-grown woman, and she's talking to me about life. So it was a great time. I would not give back that visit for $1 million, because that visit was priceless to me. So thank you again for making time for your uncle. We had a beautiful time at that wonderful coffee shop. The weather was beautiful. The sun was shining, and it really did make me feel like I was 30 years younger. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, Niecey Pooh. I love all my nieces. I love all my girls. Even that, you have a dad and mom, you got a second dad along with that uncle, because I've always felt like a second dad to you. So love you to death, love you to pieces. So again, thank you, sweetheart. It was a great, awesome time. So we move on, and I know you like, Sarge, get on with the show. Tell us what you really did. Tell us the good, the bad, the ugly. But right now, it wasn't no ugly. It was all good. It was all beautiful. So I decided, okay, well, what's next? Well, I've been to San Ysidro. I might as well go on up to Blaine, Washington. I haven't been to Washington State. Washington State was right down the walkway for me. So I think I bedded down I think I went on up to Washington State, hit the state line, decided I was going to shut down. I think I did. I think I shut down before Seattle, or maybe before Seattle. Shut down at night, kind of got my bearings again, want to go back and take a look at, hey, what's the next strategy, what you want to do, Sarge? So across Washington State, and decided I was going to roll into Seattle and see the Seattle Soul Brothers and hang out with those guys for a little while. And then beat feet on up to Blaine, Washington. Cold, wet ride going up to Blaine. It wasn't the most picturesque ride, but I was on a major highway at the time. But nonetheless, it was still exciting to get up to Blaine. So as you guys can see, there's a picture of Blaine. And let me say this, man, Seattle, y'all traffic is a D-, homie. I got to give you a D- on that, man. Y'all had a lot going on. And it was like, well, Sarge, it's because it's a baseball game. Man, knock it off. Seattle's had the Mariners since Christ was a child, man. Y'all should know how to be able to manipulate traffic and stuff and that kind of stuff. I don't care if you did have a Major League Baseball game going. That traffic was very, very unsafe. I'm going to say that. It was horrible. And you're right, Bolo, man, that great feeling to see our young people doing well. You ain't never lied, man. You ain't never lied. I ain't got no problems with my nieces, man. They're doing great. And maybe I'm just super lucky because not all of us can brag and say that. But I get up to, I go through Seattle, that whatever that was with that traffic. I get up to Blaine, beautiful little town. Blaine was an awesome little, I like to think that it was probably like a fishing town, maybe some type of little fishing town, but it was It was gorgeous, little small town. It was quaint. It was nice. Didn't have no problems. It was, again, because you're in Washington State. Matter of fact, I think this is because you're in Washington State, especially the northern patch, you're up there, the northern Pacific, the weather was wet and nasty and overcast. This is a picture of Blaine School, I guess the little high school they had up there, but people were very friendly. Had a chance to get up there, hang out, do my thing. I stopped in, I want to say it was Maryville. I think it's called Maryville, Washington, at a Holiday Inn Express up there. Very nice folks up there. A lot of people wanted to talk to me. They were intrigued about what I was doing, and very intrigued about being from Florida, riding a motorcycle. You did what? You're crazy? Are you insane in the membrane? So it was a lot of conversation up in those parts. Again, I would say going up to Blaine, I would say again, the roads are not that great because weather conditions and things. There was some construction going, but the roads ain't that great. Have you a good wheel and tire package. Make sure you got your bike in a high state of police. Make sure you got a recovery package or a AAA, Good Son, something like that. Because I noticed when I started getting up in these type of areas, these are areas that are going to take a toll on the performance of the bike. So the better your bike is put together and serviced and maintenance, the more confidence you can ride with, because up there, things are starting to get kind of rural now. There's not Harley Davidsons like we got down here in the South. They're next to you, or Indian dealerships, or Polaris, or, Honda. I started seeing those things getting pretty scarce as I was going up there. Not to say that I was in no man's land, but those conditions of those roads, because of the weather, they're constantly servicing those roads each and every year after the winter season for those roads. So I leave Blaine, I bring it back down, and I had an issue at the time. So I was planning on going to take the 90. Like, Sarge, well, why not take the 90 and take 90 end to end? Things are going on in the 90s, right on US I-90 right now. Sturgis is going on. Why not? You never been to Sturgis? Again, I'm a Western kind of guy. Wanted to get out and see quite a few places in that portion of the country. I'd never really been in Montana. I've been right there at the state line. Decided I wanted to go into Montana as well. So what's the quickest way to do it? Is take the 90, drop back down from Seattle, and start heading east. And you're right, DB, I saw Mount Rainier. It was snow-capped. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And then I got lucky to see Mount Rainier on a sunny day, because I was told by the people that live up in Seattle, hey man, it gets foggy. So sometimes you have to get all the way up in there to see it, sometimes because of weather. But I was very, very fortunate to see it without having to go all the way there. But it was snow-capped. I'm sure the weather gets kind of really ugly no matter what the time of year, next to Mount Rainier, but it's a beautiful, picturesque picture. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna hit Spokane. It's the quickest way to get on the 90 from Seattle. Unbeknownst to me, the wife touched base with me and said, hey, you been watching the weather report lately? No, I've been watching all kind of other foolishness, but no. There's fires all over Eastern Washington. What? Okay, no problem. I'm just going to drop down to Oregon and I'll circumvent and go around Spokane and do what I got to do. Well, there's fires down there too. Huh? Well, damn. Well, I ain't going back to California and then trying to go back around. That's too far. Also, whoa, wait for it. There's also fires in Montana. Okay, man, I'm done. I'm so done. So I think about it the night before and try to come up with this elaborate plan. So I decided, which probably wasn't the best idea in the world, I decided I'm going to go back down to Oregon, take the 5 back down to Oregon on the eastern side of Spokane. And then if there's a problem, I'm sure DOT detour some other way around or something happened, because I buy myself another day and a half to figure this thing out. Well, I get down there. There were fire issues down that way as well. So then I ended up having to go backtrack. Long story short, I ended up heading back up north. So I came down just to go back up, just to end up in Spokane, Washington. Shout out to the firefighters in Washington State, Montana, and Oregon. Those guys were on it. They were Johnny on the spot. I saw a lot of fire crews there, at hotel rooms. They were doing their things. A lot of forestry people there, a lot of DOT people there that were taking care of things that we take for granted as Americans. We take those for granted, man. We hear about a fire in some state. We don't think about it, man. Whatever. I hope they're even get it taken care of. We don't think about those DOT guys. We don't think about the firefighters, the first responders. We don't think about the fire crews, those, what they call them, the jump firemen that jump into a forest area and they go in and they block off fire breaks to make sure that the fire doesn't continue to travel. But shout out to those people, man. They were really putting in some real work to take care of, because they kept the major interstates still open, even that it was really, really smoky during the ride. When I got to east of Spokane on my way to Montana, it was so foggy out, it looked like night. I had kept a wrap on my face. Those who know me, and I keep a blue wrap around my face a lot of times when I'm riding. But it was serious business out there. It was serious business. I had to deal with it for about maybe 3.5, maybe 4 hours on my way to Montana. But it could have been really worse if it wasn't for those people out there doing what they had to do. There were a bunch of people, from what I understood from the news, that lost their home. God bless them. Let's keep them in our prayers. Those people out there, they might have homes, their dream homes, their forever homes, their generational homes out there in the land in the rural areas, and the fire goes through and the forest fire and take their homes out. Man, you've taken their whole livelihood out, because those folks have farms and all kind of stuff. But I'll let that be that, man. But it was a terrible situation. Again, bless the hearts of those first responders that came out to take care of things. I was blessed to be able to not have to do a whole lot of detouring. The roads were very open, thanks to those guys. So I make it into Montana, beautiful, beautiful Montana. Montana was, and this was the first time I ever did Montana coming in on the 90. So I was able to take the 90 all the way across. Very picturesque. It was a privilege. I enjoy those type of things. I'm a big Western kind of cat, so I was able to really take it in on the mountains and some of the open area. I would suggest to anybody who's taking a 90, be very cautious. The 90 is not the place for the faint at heart. The 90 is for grown folk. I would say this. I would say if you're taking the 90 for the first time, unless you're lit up like D. Bell and know what the heck you're doing, don't mess around and find out back there. Don't be back there at night, because there are wild animals, big wild animals. Don't monkey around back there, because it's very, very rural on the 90. And there's a lot of open space. I would say also, my suggestion to you on the Each One Teach One platform, I would say it's best or wise to book your hotel rooms in advance. Now, I know a lot of us, man, I just ride Sarge because until I get tired, then I get a room. Now, you can do that on certain highways, and you can do that in areas that you're really familiar with. Areas that you're not familiar with, understand there's some things that I was dealing with that I wouldn't have normally had to deal with. There were a lot of DOT people. There were a lot of construction people. There were a lot of firefighting people that had hotel rooms booked up. There's only so many hotels in those small rural towns in between these large stretches of highway. Don't get yourself in a situation out there where the hotels are booked because you're showing up at the last minute, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. I would say pull out your atlas, not your phone, but pull out your atlas and start taking a look at the towns. I had my atlas with me. It was important that I knew what I was going to be looking at well ahead of time. So I would take a look at certain towns. I would do my math, and I would say, okay, this is where I think I'm going to make it at this town. This is a total distance I want to ride today. This is when dusk is going to hit. Don't want to be on the open road when it's dark because, again, even if it's not an animal situation I have to deal with, if there's a breakdown, I don't want to be in a place where I'm sitting in a very rural place off the side of a mountain, freezing my tail off, waiting on AAA to come several hours later. So I tried to be off the road the majority of the time by 6 p.m. at the latest. And what that did for me was it gave me an opportunity because I'm still doing this life thing with health and wellness because life after 60 is sexy if you're doing the right things. If you're not doing the right things for yourself, then you're running up on a problem. You just don't know it yet. So doing the ride, of course, I still wanted to be able to take care of my health. I still wanted to exercise. I still wanted to eat well as properly as I could. And I still wanted to get quality sleep. So 6 o'clock was my Mason-Dixon line on when I was done riding for the day. So I had the operations officer. She knew where I was. Hey, operations officer, can you get me a room at this spot? This is my plan A. If you can't, this spot for plan B. So she get right on it. She's tracking me. She takes care of things. She gets me in a room. Boom. So now when I pull in, I don't have to worry about getting off my bike and unpacking and then finding out the bad news late that they're full booked or they're going to charge me a nominal rate now because you're the late guy. So I got rooms. So I got a room each and every day. And that was the plan of attack. And it went flawless. I'm going to just say this. Oh, by the way, Montana, I got to take a swing now. Y'all got a beautiful state, picturesque highways for the weather that you guys have to deal with in Montana. I thought the roads were maintained extremely well for the weather that you get, because I think when I was taking off in the morning, man, it was in the late 40s with the temperature. And this is in early August in Montana. And it got a lot of rain and it was some hail. So shout out to you guys for great roads. I thought you did really well in roads. Again, the state was very pretty. It was clean. When I came in through towns like, what was it? The first town I came in through, Missoula. I want to name, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, somebody let me know. Through Bozeman, through Billings, small little towns, a lot of crappy food restaurants. Shout out to the crappy foods, man. Hey, we're going to do away with diabetes one day by doing away with some of these crappy behind restaurants. Shout out to the small and mom and pops who are trying to make authentic foods to keep us healthy. But you fast food jokers, man, y'all know what y'all doing to us. I'm going to leave that alone before I get in trouble. But them hotel rooms in Montana, this is the ugly part. Y'all were running up a bag. I don't know, because maybe that's because in the wintertime, y'all don't get very many tourists that come through and you have to make up your money and have to make up your proceeds for the state. I don't know what it is, but y'all were running up a bag. When y'all prices for hotels were more expensive than California, homie, y'all were more expensive than California. Y'all were more expensive than Washington State. Matter of fact, y'all were more expensive than any state, all 20 states that I went through. Y'all were more expensive. And when I say more expensive, I'm not even talking close. You guys were far away from everybody with what you were charging for the room for some of those small towns. Again, Sarge, you don't understand the excuse that we got. Y'all might have excuse. Okay, whatever it is, I'll give you grace. You might have an excuse with tourism. You might have an excuse with, I don't know what your excuse was, but y'all had the most average rooms for the most expensive prices. And that was the chain rooms. That was the chain hotels. I'm not talking about 5-star hotels. I'm talking about the typical Holiday Inn Express. Y'all were really, really expensive, man. Y'all were really expensive. Now, I'm not going to say the rooms were dumpsters. They weren't dumpsters. The rooms were adequate rooms. But for what I paid, I couldn't even get comfortable for what I paid. Now, the staff and the service was good. I can't front on that. But y'all were charged a lot, homie. If somebody from Holiday Inn Express can break that down for me, I appreciate it. But again, we get to Montana, great time there, great sightseeing there, no complaints, friendly people, good people. Then we moved on into, I think that's when the fun really started beginning. We move on into, I miss Idaho. Idaho was a great stay in Idaho. Very picturesque. Coach Kenny said, that's why I pulled my camper. You ain't never lied, bro. You would definitely wanted your camper in Montana. But I crossed over into my Idaho. I can't really remember whether or not, because everything is all together now, on whether or not I stayed in Idaho or I rode through Idaho. But Idaho, very, very picturesque state. Actually, I want to say Idaho was probably my favorite looking state, if that makes sense. Very beautiful. I was just taken aback. I was just taken in by the sights of Idaho. Very, very pretty. I never thought about going to Idaho as a kid or a youngster or anything like that. But give it another chance, I would go back through it. I thought it was a gorgeous, gorgeous state. So shout out to the beauty of Idaho, man. If you get a chance to visit through that, especially behind the handlebars of a motorcycle, I think you owe it to yourself to check it out. It was gorgeous. So now we move it on in. Let me see if I can split screen it to you. Now I'm into Wyoming. Anybody know Sarge, man? Y'all know I've been talking about the Devil's Tower for years, man. I finally got my dusty butt over to the Devil's Tower, man. It was picturesque. I was taken aback, man. So I got a chance to get out there with some people who had visited the Devil's Tower quite a bit and knew a lot about it. And, you know, they would give me the background. And I'm going to just say this, man. Here it is. Here we go. The lady that was giving me the gouge behind I'm going to say the folklore. I'm going to call it the folklore about the Devil's Tower. She was starting to weird me out a little bit. First, it started really nice. She was giving me a whole lot of history behind it. Then she started kind of weirding me out a little bit. I'm going to just say this, man. Sometimes when you're telling creepy stories, it's not a good idea to be tapping people you don't know. I'm trying to move away from it and kind of shimmy away. Don't tap me. Don't tap me on the shoulders when you're talking to me, because I don't know what kind of stuff you got, any kind of spirits you got. You kind of had a little bit of the Good Witch of the West vibe thing going on. It was making your boy a little nervous. It was making me a little uncomfortable. But she really did give me quite a bit of story. It was her and her husband and I think a sister when they were out there. She had a little tree hugging vibe thing going on, but she was really, really nice, very kind. And she was telling me the story and what, you know, the folklore about the Devil's Tower. And I'm just going to say this, man. I was at a small biker place. As I got I'm facing the biker place. And I don't know if I got pictures of the biker bar, but it's a biker bar in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure some of the ones who really got after it, I'm sure D Bell and Reef and K Solo, some of the other guys who've been up in that area, FHO, they know the biker bar that I'm talking about. Very nice biker bar, very kind people, treated me extremely well. And this was their view when you walk outside of the bar. You saw the Devil's Tower. You saw this great national monument. And I'm telling you, this picture does no justice to that mountain, quote unquote, tree stump. That thing is huge. And I had a great view of it. And it does look mysterious. It does have a mystique about itself. I've always wanted to see this place from the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind with Richard Dreyfuss. And if you haven't checked out the movie, check out the movie, man. It's a pretty cool movie. I think it came out in 76, 77, somewhere down that time frame. But great movie. I don't want to give up the movie. But it had something to do with aliens coming back. And the third encounter was us finally making contact with aliens who lived on the earth before us. So real cool thing. Got a chance to see it up close. Picture of a lifetime. Would you do it again, Sarge? You dang right I would. It was beautiful. So again, got a chance to go do that. It was a great time. You can see here as I moved on, my next goal was to hit Mount Rushmore. And let me just say this now. Here we go. Crossing South Dakota. I'm going to just say this, man, for all you, I can do this now because I'm retired. For all the guys that say, I don't want to see that because it ain't who I want on the monument, or politically correct, or whatever your views are, I don't care what you say. That was worth seeing because the guys, the men who sculpted that on the side of a mountain that far ago and able to do what they did was breathtaking. It was absolutely breathtaking. I've never seen it before in real life because I was one of those guys, oh, man, well, I want to go there. I don't want to go there. I do want to go there because it was actually my lip hit the floor. I was like, wow. And it just popped out at you. And I'm just thinking, wow, no matter what you think, man created that. That is a for real marvel of our country. I enjoyed every bit of it. Again, I think you should check it out if you get an opportunity to see it. Mount Rushmore, the people up there were very nice. It was easy getting in and easy, well, once you got up there, but it was easy getting in and pretty easy getting out. And I thought it was wonderful, man. I enjoyed it. It was a highlight for me. Matter of fact, this is one of the videos that I took. Very clean. The park was very clean, very well maintained. And man, it was breathtaking. And going up to Mount Rushmore, steep, highways and roads that went around, but they were very well maintained. But it was something to see. And I actually saw it on a foggy day. So I can only imagine what it would have looked like on a nice sunny day. Mount Rushmore, man, I think it's a must-see thing. I think Sturgis, I'm going to say this about Sturgis, and I mean every bit of it. It was worth it. It was gorgeous. No negative things about Sturgis. Was treated very well, treated very nice there. People were very polite in Sturgis. Everybody that saw you ride on a motorcycle, the first question they wanted to ask you was, are you going to Sturgis? But it was a good time. It was a good vibe. If I had an opportunity, would I go again? Yeah, I thought it was worth it. A little pricey, but it was what it was. It was Sturgis. It was that week. They did tell me in Sturgis, they normally make enough money in the community to sustain them for a year round because, they said once you leave Sarge, the weather's going to get crappy and we're not going to see anybody. It's going to be front row viewing for everything. You're going to be able to go and see everything in Sturgis because there's not going to be a big line to do anything, which I believe because I know how the weather can get. The weather can get pretty rough there. So again, shout out to them. Shout out for the courteousness for the folks. I saw a lot of good bike etiquette there. D-Bell said you definitely had to get out there and see it in person. Pictures don't do it justice. You're right about that, D-Bell. Pictures do, man. If you think you know what Sturgis is by looking at the pictures or looking at somebody's YouTube video, man, you missed a lot. I'm just telling you, you missed a whole lot. This is your boy out there on the main drag. I forget what the name of that road is before going into the town. A lot of corporate sponsorship there, a lot of good folk there, a lot of good vibe there. So only regret I have is that I wish I would have had more time to hang out and to see more. But Sturgis, very cool. I give Sturgis a man. The hotel rooms were expensive. They're going to take your head off, if you go in there during season. But I kind of understand for them because they laid it out there to me and they said, Sarge, it is because of this is normally how we take care of things for our town and our community for the whole year. So, I mean, I kind of get it is what it is. It is a destination. It is a Disney World for motorcycle riders. So when you come ready to rock and roll, understand that things are going to get costly. The food I thought was reasonable. A lot of food vendors out there, food trucks, restaurants. I thought getting to food was very reasonable. I thought the traffic was very reasonable for that event because Sturgis is not a big place. I thought it was very reasonable. Hotels, yeah, you can give y'all a C minus, bro. We're gonna give y'all a C minus for. But again, once I got into the hotels were very clean, well kept. You can tell that they were ready for the crowd. So shout out to Sturgis, South Dakota, man, did their thing, man. So again, those are the big things that I wanted to see, the big places I wanted to go. Again, so along this way, some of the national monuments got a chance again to, see the Redwood Forest. That was a big on the to-do list, on the retirement list. Got a chance to see the northwest town right there on the Canadian border of America in Blaine, Washington. Got to see the great Idaho, the great state of Idaho, which was absolutely gorgeous to see it. Shout out to Idaho, a fabulous looking state. Got to meet some great people in Montana. Again, so everything is flowing well. The 2023 Road Glide Limited is riding exceptionally well. So, as I was riding a few times, I thought to myself, oh boy, you going through some things, man. Let's keep prayed up that this motorcycle continue to perform well. But I had no issues, no problems. The weather was weathering. I've had worse weather. I could say, did you go to Wall Drugs? D-Bill, actually, shamefully to say, I blew past it running my mouth on the phone. Shamefully to say. I did hit a couple other spots that you and Sonny told me about. And I do have pictures, and hopefully you saw them posted and in the YouTube. But I did miss the wall drug that you were talking about. I apologize for that, my guy. I got to get it the next time around. Chiz said, dope, I want to be like you when I get older. Heck, I want to be like you, Chiz, for a lot of things we talked about. But again, bike was performing extremely well. I'm going to say the weather at this point, taking the track that I took, it's going to be extremely hot in the South. California is going to be extremely hot. The weather changed a little bit in Oregon and Washington State. During the daytime, there's going to be pockets of day, maybe 2 or 3 hours, that the weather might get all the way up to 100 degrees. In the morning, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. 50s. At night, maybe if you're really late cross-country trapping, you might get temperatures in the low 60s, upper 50s. That's what the weather's going to be. It's going to be perhaps base layer gear early in the morning, and then I can say by lunchtime you're going to be ripping all that mess off and trying to rock out with Cool Max gear. The weather was deceptively hot for hydration because in the South we sweat. That's how we know. Views on Twos, what's good, my guy? What's happening with your LT? But exceptionally or deceptively hot. In the South we sweat. Up there is not a lot of sweating because it's a dry heat. I would always say this, you never know. Stay hydrated, keep fluid on the on the bike. Because when you get up there, there's not a ton of stops. I wouldn't go tank to tank. If I were you up there for a first time doing a 90, I would not do tank to tank. I would probably do 2/3 of a tank and then refill up because it is a little tricky. It's not like super tricky, but it is tricky and you can run out of gas up there. It will happen. And if you do, there's a lot of distance up there. The speed limit is 80. So if the speed limit is 80, bikers are going to run 90, 95. So you're going to get crappy gas mileage and you're going to be going in and out of mountains and the elevation is high. So I would say 2/3 of a tank. That's my suggestion to you. I would say for this ride, heated gear is best gear. Cool Max gear is great gear. And you got to stay covered up. Sunscreen is a must and water on the bike is a must. So hopefully that's helped somebody that's getting ready to take that ride. Moving along because I know I've been on for a while. So I said I'm going to keep this at a certain amount of time. But again, this ride, this podcast, I wanted to be special because I really wanted to share this ride and thank a lot of folks for the support on this ride. So left Sturgis, did the usual. Now I'm hitting Wisconsin. I don't know Wisconsin. Crappy roads. Crappy roads. I don't know, man. I don't know. Wasn't the best portion of the ride. Decided I was going to skip Milwaukee. Just wasn't impressed. Trashy roads. Hit Illinois. Illinois. Do better, Illinois. Do better. Do better. That's what I'm going to say about Illinois. Decided I was going to pop into Chicago. I wanted to pop the hell out of Chicago as fast as I could. Chicago, your traffic sucks, your roads suck. Do better. I'm trying to figure out right now, can somebody help me? Chicago and Gary, why are you guys collecting tolls in that area? Your roads stink. Seem like you've been hanging out with Memphis too long. Your roads stink, man. I got to keep it funky. I got to keep it 100 with you. Some of the worst roads and worst traffic that I've seen since cross-country trapping. Y'all got to do better. They were running it up on those tolls. And Gary, I will say this about Gary. I will give Gary a little bit of grace because, and I don't want to do this to Gary right now. I'm going to hold on. I will give Gary a little bit of grace. Sarge, are you going to tell us roughly how much this trip costs? Pocket change. I will do that at the end. You got to hang on for the end. And if you hadn't done so already, man, if you're on with us, man, please reach up and hit the like button, man, so we can get the algorithms going, man. I appreciate you guys for rocking with us today. But that would be great, man. Greatly appreciated. And if you've seen the podcast or rock with the channel more than once, man, if you'd be so nice to reach up also and subscribe to the channel, man, so you can turn on your notifications so you'll be alerted any and every time that we have a live podcast or content that comes out. But thank you guys for rocking with us on the Iron Elite Podcast show today. But I'm going to say this, and we're going to get there, Pocket Change. We're going to get there. But I'm going to say this. What Chicago and Gary and Indiana, what all y'all were doing on that turnpike up there, man, y'all was stealing without a mask, man. It was like stick 'em up, stick 'em up, stick 'em up without a mask. Y'all were running it up. The turnpike itself wasn't really that bad. The road was okay. Here's the ugly and the funny. Chicago, what are you charging for? Your roads were crap. What are you doing with the money? Gary, I'm going to give you a break because a storm went through Gary, Indiana. Let's keep the folks of Gary, Indiana in our prayers. When I got up there, the storm went through there. I want to say it went through Gary maybe a day or two before I got there. Yeah, wait until you get your bills from the toll. I know, D-Bell. I expect right now, when it's all said and done, for those tolls to be over $100. Some of them, some states, they were so good. No, we ain't finna send it to you. We finna go get that from you right now. Cash, debit, or credit. Give it up right now. Because once you, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but once you got on the toll, you couldn't, here it is. We're going to get you on a toll. Let me stop. Let me do this. Gary, let's go back to Gary. Gary had that storm about a day or two, I think, before I got there. When I got to Gary, coming across the bridge from Chicago, it looked like I was in Beirut somewhere. It looked like I'd been in Iraq. Telephone poles were down in the middle of the road. Trees were down. The city was the power was out. The traffic lights were out. It was ambulances running all over the place, fire trucks all over the place. We were making our own traffic flowing in between 4 intersections and stuff. And I was like, holy. First thing I thought to the wife, said, I ain't staying nowhere near Gary, because first of all, you're going to get no decent hotel room. And if you do, you're probably not going to get no power. And God knows how many people are using these hotels because they've been displaced. This is what downtown Gary looks like. Now, I know some of this wasn't from the storm. Some of this was from the falling of the city. And Gary's been going through what Gary's been going through, to be honest, for decades now, since a lot of the manufacturers left Gary, Indiana, steel companies left Gary, Indiana. But my mouth dropped to the floor with Gary. I was really, really taken back. I was really taken back, and I was like, wow, wow. I saw a lot of people trying to get it together and deal with the things that they were dealing with. So I was able just to take a few pictures and take in a couple sites. I wanted to see more of Gary while I was there, but I thought at this point, because the gas stations and I was going through what I was going through, it was probably best to do a quick drive-by with Gary. Matter of fact, this is a statue of Gary, Indiana's first mayor. Forgive me, I forget his name, but he was the first mayor of Gary, Indiana from 1967. Yeah, I agree with you, D-Bill. Gary's been going down since the 80s, man. I've got a homie that me and him both retired from the post office together. He was originally from Gary, joined the Navy to leave Gary in the early 80s, I think late 70s from what was going on. But, yeah, Gary was tough, man. It was a tough thing to look at. Sarge, you got to use your dealer ride off tag for the toes. Yeah, I feel you, my guy. But yeah, it was a tough sight to look at. And after that storm hit Gary, I think it's going to be really bad for them. And I did see some TikTok videos lately over the last 24 hours, people really complaining about still not having any power and water on. So I'll leave that like that, man. Prayers to the folks of Gary, Indiana. Man, it's a tough one, man. It was a really, really tough one. But them tolls, back to the tolls. Hey, man, I hope y'all using them tolls for the right reasons. Because right now you damn sure ain't using them on the road and you damn sure not using them on infrastructure. Maybe you use them just to bring up tax base for your state. But Gary, Indiana, Chicago, y'all get an F, man, on them roads. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I ain't taking it back. Y'all get an F, man. So we get on through Indiana. We hitting the turnpikes. Man, they was like, stick them up, stick them up. Some turnpikes for certain states, you get on and they give you a ticket. Now, I'm trying to learn all this because we don't do all these tolls down here in Florida. Not too much. Not in the free state of Florida. We don't do a lot of that. Texas don't do a lot of that, except shout out to Houston. Houston cleaning your clock. And Miami's cleaning your clock. But we don't have a lot of other tolls down there. Maybe a little bit of Orlando. But we get a ticket. Now, you don't really know what to do with the ticket if you ain't doing this stuff. But you're supposed to hold on to the ticket. Because if you don't hold on to the ticket, when you get off the turnpike, they're going to charge you double automatically. So the longer, from where I understand it, the longer you stay on the turnpike, the more expensive the toll is. Shorter you stay on the turnpike, the least expensive you turn. But if you get off the turnpike, you have to have your ticket. And now they got a toll road thing, and they collect your money. And then that's when you pay. And it's like that for each and every time. And that turnpike goes from Indiana, and that thing goes, I think, clean across the 90, from what I was told. I didn't hit it in Pennsylvania, but I left it alone in Ohio. But they were still running it up on you. And I'm talking about running it up on you every so many miles, man. Or you cross the state line, boom, here you go. Welcome to the state. We're finna get you for leaving the state. Now we're finna get you 2 miles later for getting to the state. And they were eating your lunch, Brian. They got gas stations because on the turnpike, and I don't know if this is a bad thing. They've got gas stations on that turnpike. And I want to say they were like, for Indiana, they were like, I think they were like maybe state-owned type gas stations. I don't know what the heck they were. They were like a bigger Wawa, but a smaller, compact version of a Buc-ee's. Major gas station, truck stop, the whole nine, rest area, food, all the typical carbs and sweets that we love and we crave on the highway. So, and I think they were like separated maybe every 60 to 100 miles maybe. So don't screw around on those things, because there was not going to be exits like we're used to, every 20, 30 miles. They're going to be major gas stops. So be smart. When you were getting down below a half a tank, go ahead and pull on in and get you a fill up on the bike. And it wasn't a lot of places to stop for bathroom breaks. So that would be another reason to go ahead and hit those major spots. But there were major gas station stops, and they let you know well ahead of time that where they were, but it wasn't a lot of places to get off the turnpike. The turnpike is built a little different than a regular major interstate. The turnpikes, they're only designated exits And it's not a bunch of them, but the designated exits they have, they got everything you need: gas, food, help, support, all kind of cool stuff. So that part about the turnpike, I really enjoy it for Indiana. And I think, I can't remember, did Illinois have it, but I don't remember too much about Illinois, about how they were set up. I just know they had crappy roads. But Indiana did have it. I think Minnesota had some of it. Minnesota, y'all kind of got some crappy roads too, as you cross across that state line from South Dakota. So y'all don't get out of here unscathed. Y'all got some crappy roads too. But I will give some grace. I will say, because of the weather and the snow and stuff like that, I understand that, it takes a lot to keep those roads together and keep things going. But y'all are claiming tolls. Y'all claiming tolls. Now, if you claiming tolls, that toll money should be going to something. Well, I make it to Ohio. Decided after I made it to Toledo, things happened, and it was getting to the point where now we're maybe 10 days, 11 days into the trip. I'm enjoying myself. The wife is taking care of everything back home. She's making it very pleasurable and easy for me to enjoy the ride. And I'm meeting people on the road. People are checking in with me. And I got no complaints, man. I'm living my best life behind the handlebars of a motorcycle. I'm contemplating my next move now that I'm retired again for the second time, and hopefully retired from punching anybody's clock forever. And it's time now at this point. I wanted to go on up to Maine, but something tugged on my heart and said, you got an uncle that's not doing very great. You got your mother who's dealing with her health issues, and she's dealing with her brother also. And you got, things that are going on. So I told the wife what I was going to go ahead and do. I said, I think when I get to Toledo, Ohio, I'm going to start heading south and bring it back home. I can always do some other things later. This ride wasn't a four corners ride for me, although some people thought it was. It wasn't. This was a retirement ride. This was a ride of no obligation. A lot of times I didn't tell people exactly what I was doing because I didn't want nobody to, again, try to push an agenda. Although I know it was coming from kind hearts, I didn't want an agenda. I wanted to wake up and I wanted to do things on my clock at my time on how I felt. This whole ride I was doing it day by day. If I felt like doing something, I did it. If I didn't feel like doing something, I didn't do it. If I felt like getting up early, I did. If I didn't, I didn't do it. If I wanted to ride 500 miles that day, I did it. If I didn't, I didn't want to, and I wouldn't. So that was the biggest premise of the ride. It was a freedom ride. It was a ride. For the first time in 40-something years, I got a chance to do what the hell I wanted to do. I had no obligations. I had no kids to get up and get back home to make sure they got home for school. I had no job, that my PTO was running out. I had everything that was green light for me on this ride. The most incredible motorcycle ride I've made in my whole entire life, bar none. And y'all know I've been riding motorcycles for a while. This was the best, most gratifying motorcycle ride that I've ever made in my life. It wasn't even a close second. And I thank you guys for that. I thank you for the people who supported me. I thank you for the people who encouraged me. I thank you for the people who gave Cash App donations. You didn't have to, but you did. And I greatly appreciate it. I thank you for the people who just send me a simple text, Sarge, we encourage you. Ride your ride, that retirement ride. Do your thing, Sarge. For the people to reach out and say, man, I want to be like you when I grow up. Thank you, man. It made me feel 10 feet tall, even though I wasn't doing a lot. But it made me feel like I was doing a lot. It made me feel like I was special. It put things in perspective. To not be in a hurry. I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't have, a couple of times I fought back and forth, and the wife would laugh at me. Get to hurry up and get here. Well, why do you get to hurry up and get there? Well, I've been here too long. Well, what's too long? Didn't you plan on it? Yeah, I did, but so I played games with myself on the road sometimes. I was doing to myself what I was complaining that life was doing to me, making me be in a hurry. But I stopped being in a hurry on times. But I decided to get on home, man, because it was time, and God was tugging on my heart. Okay, you're good. You're good. You smiled. You smiled way more days than you frowned on this highway. So I hit Toledo and started heading home, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, and back home. But as I was heading home, I was still enjoying all the great sights. Eastern Kentucky, beautiful. Chattanooga, Tennessee, beautiful. Coming on home. If it wasn't for Atlanta, the whole thing would have been beautiful. Y'all know how I get down about Atlanta. I'm swinging on Atlanta. I know y'all ATLians ain't gonna like it. Atlanta, your traffic suck, man. I don't know what else to say about ATL. Your traffic suck. ATL, you well on your way to becoming a mini LA. Keep up the good work. There is no good time to go through LA. I mean, through ATL. I don't even know what it is. I get into south of Cartersville, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. From Cartersville, Georgia to Atlanta, it couldn't have been more screwed up. And when we get to the point where we think it started with all the traffic and the delays, you don't see nothing. They're forever building something on that stretch of 85, 75. I don't even get it. I just don't even get Atlanta no more. I don't even get it. I just, Atlanta, God bless y'all, man. I'm just going to say this, bro. I'm just waiting on major tolls to come to Atlanta. I am. They don't have one more place they can build anything at in Atlanta. So shout out. I'm sure it's a good city, but man, that road system, that's a fight. That is a stressful thing. And it didn't stop being stressful behind the handlebars of a motorcycle until I damn near almost got to Macon. So again, the top worst cities for my ride. LA, you got it. LA, you win. Chicago, you right next to them, Chicago. Ain't no 1 and 2 with Chicago and LA. It's 1 and 1A. Sucky traffic. LA and Chicago. That's all I can say. LA, Chicago, then I'm gonna go ahead and put you down there, Atlanta. You right there with them too. Who else made me miserable? I'm trying to think, man. Seattle, y'all were there too. FHL say Atlanta's the place to beware. Beware. It always says hills and curves, slow people and up in Atlanta. Man, whatever, man. I'm gonna leave Atlanta alone because I know y'all gonna come for my head in a minute. Y'all come to fight me, but place to be, I don't know what to be where in Atlanta. Northern Georgia, I'll give you Northern Georgia, but Atlanta, whatever. Miss me with that, homie. Miss me with it. But them were my top 4 worst traffic spots. I'm sure if I'd have hit New York City, New York, y'all would have probably been number 1 without it being even close. But those are the ones. Tolls were some of the funny and the ugly city traffic in LA, Atlanta, Chicago. Y'all were horrible. Most picturesque state, Idaho. Absolutely gorgeous. Oregon, you're up there in the winter class. South Dakota, you're up there as well. Nothing to see. Illinois, nothing to see there. Nothing to see Indiana. Even that the tolls were kind of funny, but the roads were decent. It was nothing to see. Minnesota, flatlands, wind farms. Wasn't a ton to see in Seattle, in Minnesota. I mean, at least Seattle, you got pretty views while sitting in the traffic. Yeah, Seattle had pretty views. Nice. Seattle traffic, yeah. Seattle, y'all get a D- too. Y'all up there. That was the one I might have forgot. Seattle, yeah, nothing to see. I think the most shining star of this whole ride as I wrap up, my shining star, my most picturesque favorite place to see and visit was the Devil's Tower, South Dakota. Get there, see it. I highly suggest it. Awesome time. At this point, I'm gonna bring this to an end, and I like to thank some folks. If you don't mind, this ride was some 8,832 miles, 20 states, 15 days on ground. First of all, I like to thank my Lord and Savior. I like to thank Jesus Christ. I like to thank God above, because without him, I could not have made this ride and came back the same way I left. So thank you. I thank you to all the wonderful folks of my Iron Elite family. I thank you first, the Soul Brothers to the West Coast. My West Coast Soul Brothers, thank you for bringing me in and constantly treating me like I'm blood. I see you guys once a year, but you're always so excited to see me. That makes a brother feel really great. Thank you to Emo, Rare Breed, MC from the Bay Area. Thank you for pulling up on your boy and taking time out of your schedule and having lunch and breaking bread with me. I like to thank my daughters for checking in on me. Trinell, Tiffany, Brittany, checking, Dad, where you at now? Dad, that's crazy. Dad, where you going this? Dad, what the hell are you thinking, Dad? But they were checking. They were being like my parent on the road, making sure that their dad stayed safe. I appreciate them for it. I love them to death. It was crazy. They was taking in the pictures like, oh my God. So it was beautiful sharing that, even that it was pictures with my kiddos. I thank you to my niece, Kayla, who's on with us today. Thank you for taking time out your schedule and pulling up on Uncle and checking on Uncle and following Uncle on that glimpse each and every day, even that I know you were busy. You know, again, I know your profession, you stay busy, but you had time to check to make sure Uncle was good. Thank you to the Bells, man, David and Sonny, man, checking in, giving your boy tips on places to go, things to see. You know, again, the Bells, I love them to death. I know they're crazy about us and what we do on the platform, and you know, all the support they give us through Cash Apps and support and merch and whatever I got going on. I can have anything going on, and I can always count on the Bells supporting us and showing us love in everything we do and making sure I'm good and telling me about things. So shout out to David and Sonny. Y'all know again how I rock with them. I think the world of them. Thank you to Brother Low Key from opening up and providing me with a bed at his house and a great meal. And I didn't get a shabby meal. I got a great meal. Low Key and his family, again, making me feel like family. They made the ride a lot easier. He was checking in on me as well. Shout out to Slim Wayne for the donations and texts and saying, hey, Sarge, are you good? And encouraging me to fulfill my dreams. Shout out to the great Snacks, man. Snacks donating and cash apping your boy and texting me affirmations and good things. And y'all know Snacks is a legend, man. Ain't no place on the planet Snacks hadn't rode a motorcycle, whether it's South America, North America, Pluto Bay, France, India. So coming from her, man, that was great. I was humbled, man, to say, I'm so proud of you. So thank you to Snacks. Thank you to Marvin Slaughter, man. I know you checking in on your boy. Support me. I appreciate you. I appreciate the Cash App. Thank you to Doc J and Big Psych for making sure I was bedded down and had a place to crash when I got to Arkansas in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, hanging out with them at their lake house at the Airbnb. Thank you. Thank you to Reef for checking in on your boy. And again, giving me some heads up on different things out there. You know, y'all know how Reef get down, man. The Reef made me do it, cat. Again, he gives a lot of technical advice on things and places he's traveled, and he really helps a lot with the navigation side. So thank you to Reef. Thank you to Adamak Harley Davidson Motorcycles, man. Shout out to Steven, my personal mechanic, man, over at Orange Park, Adamak Harley Davidson. He is the only guy, man, I'll allow before a trip and after a trip to work on the bike, because for those who know me, I'm OCD. and I own it. I'm very fickle when it comes to after the party. I'm one of those kind of cats. I don't like a lot of hands on my bike if I can help it. If I can help it. Because when I say quirky things about my bike are not running right or things go right, I like Steve because Steve works on that bike and he takes it personal each and every time. He knows I'm getting ready to make a long ride and he goes above and beyond to inspect things. And he don't take me for granted when I say, this don't feel right, Steve. He don't say, well, I don't see anything, so I'm gonna keep moving. No, he goes and he goes and checks on what I say. Him and I talk about things even before I bring the bike in and get a service ticket on it. Him and I talk about things when I pick up the bike. He's normally there when I pick up the bike, and him and I specifically talk and review what I talked about before we did it. And if it's a part that's covered by ESP, he go ahead and says, hey, Sarge, I think we should go ahead and remove this or replace this or whatever the case may be. So thank you to him for caring, because we know that all mechanics are not built equal, all are not created equal, but he takes me serious. And I do take that motorcycle very serious. I'm very anal about it. So I like to think that between him and me and the way we behave about before, the doing, and after that motorcycle, that mitigates a lot of risk out there on breakdowns or mechanical failures. Doesn't save me from everything, but I can say this, that motorcycle ran like a champ. It ran like a champ out there. Of all the many things that could have gone wrong out there, they didn't. They didn't. And I like to think that's because Steve-O over at Orange Park Adamak Harley-Davidson, me and my OCD, me and my Iron Elite family, whether it's the Bells, whether it's a myriad of guys who I talk to while I'm on the road, whether it's Joe Fan or whoever, Slim Wayne or whoever I talk to, we're coming up with a 95% solution to make sure every ride is the best ride. So thank you to him and the folks out there. I'd like to thank Joe Fan, man. Joe, very inspiring. My South Florida family. Y'all know how I get out with Joe. Y'all know how I love my South Florida family down there. Thanks for checking in on me and making sure Sarge was good. Thank you to Princess McCall for chiming in every day when I make a post. You know, prayers up to me, checking in, making sure I'm good. You know, thank you to all the folks of the Iron Elite family. Man, y'all made me really feel special on this ride. And I know, man, Sarge, you just did a little funky 8,800 miles. You ain't done this before. You ain't done. I feel you, man. There's echelons. There's levels to this here thing. There's levels to this. You know, what I love mostly about our Iron Elite family is your ride is the great ride. Your ride is the great ride. Whether you did a thou wow, whether you did 5,000, whether you did 10,000, whether you done 15,000, your ride is the great ride. And I love about this family is no matter what your ride is, we're constantly inspiring you to do your best, to be your greatest. So I thank you to the Iron Elite family. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Without you guys, I don't know what I would be doing and where I'd be at doing it. But thank you guys. You give me purpose on this motorcycle riding genre. I call the motorcycle after the party. Not after party, but after the party. Because that motorcycle, when I bought that motorcycle in 2023, it was to symbolize life now into the third phase of my life. It was after the running to being in a hurry. It was after the great parties and all the social events. It was to be able to ride now in that third phase of my life where I can see things and experience things. And me and my motorcycle, through just the noise of the engine, that we can enjoy our ride. So that's where the after the party name came from, the bike. It was supposed to be about me and my motorcycle enjoying the beauties of this country. And we're doing that so far. We're doing that. And the other person I would like to thank, last but not least, is the operations officer. Woo, let me give her a round of applause real quick. I'm gonna say this, man. Holy smokes. Before, during, after, helping me to pack out, helping me to get things together, making sure that I'm ready to rock and roll for this ride, checking in on me every morning, making sure I got what I'm supposed to have, got what I need, making sure my body's not aching too bad, making sure money is in the account for me, making sure she's asking about things she don't even know about. How's the motorcycle running? Do you need to stop to get maintenance here? Things that she shouldn't even have to worry about. She's constantly checking in and making sure that I'm good. She's also making sure my 10 to the end riders are still being taken care of, registered while I'm on the road. So I don't have to worry about that stuff. And for those that don't know, that's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, but she was after it. Her day was more busy than my day, making sure riders got registered, making sure riders get their email confirmations, making sure riders get their packages, making sure I was taken care of, making sure I had a hotel room. You just name it. One thing after one thing after one thing after one thing after one thing. She made it very easy for this ride for me. She did. And I thank her very much. And for those who cared enough to rock with us to the end of the show, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would be so kind and put in the comment section, thumbs up, or thank you, Miss D, or thank you, operations officer, because I really want her to know from us and this family how important she is to what we do on this platform. Without her, I don't think I could do it at this level. Without her, I don't think it could be as smooth as it's been over the years, and she's greatly appreciated. So again, I want to thank her. Without her, it'd been really tough for me to be able to accomplish what I did. This was us the night, and as you see, don't laugh at your boy's hair, man. I was growing an afro out there on the highway. That was the night I got in that evening. She took me out to dinner. I ain't gonna lie, I was tired as a mug, but after being gone that long, and the wife says, I want to take you out to eat, you go out to eat and be quiet and enjoy that meal and do your thing. But it was a great, great journey. Again, thank you to her and what she does for us on the platform. We're getting ready to move into the voting time for the Titan Award. So y'all stand by for that. Can't wait to get ready to announce the Titans for 2027. So more to come on that in the next few months. So thank you very much. That's coming. And again, ride of a lifetime, retirement ride. Now I'm back home in the saddle. I'll be doing more podcasts. I've got a podcast coming up this week, Sunday. I've got the guys from, let me see how I pull them up here. Let me see if I can pull them up for you real quick. Got them coming along. Let's see where I'm at. Okay. 1 second here. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Sunday, August 23rd, man. Honor Elite Podcast Show. I got Big Frizz. I got Brian V and Son. It was the father and 13-year-old edition, man, of I-10 to the end. I've got Blue from Red Reed, Greenville, South Carolina. And then lastly, but not least, let me see if I can get this off. Give me 1 second here. I got Come With It, man. The great Come With It that just finished up his Four Corners, man. So I got quite a few that we got to get rid of, not get rid of, but we got to get their shows done for the Honor Elite Podcast. That'll be on Sunday, 3 p.m. So a lot to come. I'm excited now. This is going to be what I'm going to do in full time, is motorcycle content and giving you guys the best value as I can. Again, thank you guys for supporting us from what we were doing on the platform. I know I've been on for 2 hours, and I appreciate you guys for rocking with us. I knew the show was going to be a long show today, but it had to be because, again, we had a lot to talk about. I wanted a lot to share with you guys on the good, the bad, the funny of riding some 8,832 miles on these beautiful highways and byways of America. I will say this for all of us out there, we owe it to our families to do the responsible thing before, during, and after these motorcycle ride trips. I know a lot of us are doing awesome things on motorcycling, but remember this, man. Take care of your responsibilities first. Do the safe thing first. Make sure you have a life insurance policy. Make sure you have a health insurance policy. Make sure you have an emergency savings. Take care of things around the house first before you go and take on the privilege of riding your motorcycle great. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If you're doing it any way differently, you got the game twisted. You got the game twisted. In 2026, we're not going to be GoFundMeing our way around this place. We're going to take care of responsibilities because that's the grown man, grown woman thing to do. We're going to prepare for emergencies and pray for the best. And then we're going to go out there and we're going to execute a safe ride, because the mission is not over till you made it home safe and sound, man. So again, appreciate you guys. It's been an awesome show. I'll see you guys on Sunday, ready to rock and roll with the folks on the Iron Elite Podcast Show. I-10, the good, the bad, the ugly of riding coast to coast. Again, if somebody I failed to thank, forgive me. I appreciate you all. My Iron Elite family, I love you guys to death. I really, truly do. The ones who, again, who rocked out there with me on the road, who made my content must-see TV, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. And for those who are listening and watching today, if you guys would be so kind, if you hadn't done so already, reach up, subscribe, man, so you get all the notification bells for any time that we have fresh, brand new content. For those who want to support what we do on the channel, I'll put it up here. You don't have to, but if you do, we greatly appreciate it. We use all the proceeds to, again, to fund what we do here on the Iron Elite Podcast. All this stuff is through your donations, the mic that I talk to you from, what you donate lovingly to the channel, whether it's $1 or $2, whatever the case may be. We put it into audio, streaming equipment, or computers. Everything that you do for us on this platform, we put it back into the platform. So again, we can have the best quality platform humanly possible to do what we do, to sustain what we're doing. So if you hadn't done it already, make your plans, man, for the Iron Elite event 2026, February 6th and 7th, here in Jacksonville, Florida, at Bay Metals Harley-Davidson. All the information for it is on the Facebook group page, Iron Elite Home of the Ground Pounders Reunion. Let me throw that back up on the shared screen and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second here. It's in the featured section. Let's see if I can bring that up real quick with you guys. Okay. It's on the group page. Here's the group page right here in the featured section. It'll be everything about the event, hotels, flyer, the who, what, when, and where. So no excuse, man. We'll see you at the Iron Elite event, 6th and 7th of February. Happy. It'll be the Ground Pounders reunion, man. We'll also be celebrating the 2027 Titans, man. So a male and a female. So stand by for that, man. So in the meantime, in between time, man, y'all keep it motorcycling. One love, everybody. Peace.
Hey now, it's your girl Piper, the 2025 Iron Elite female titan. And you're now tuned in to Sarge on the Iron Elite Podcast Show, home of the Ground Pounders reunion and the Coast to Coast run, the social experiment, where motorcycling is not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You dig? Now like, share, subscribe, and follow for all things motorcycling, and I'll see you on the slab.
I was asked the other day, hey, Sarge, why you never play any fast music on your podcast? It's simple. I'm petty.